at a gig, Paul, what is one of the wildest things that has happened to you?
I think I was playing this gig at in Arkansas. In Arkansas, they have special laws to where sometimes clubs can run 24 hours. And I remember like doing that, and then people passing around shots or something like that, and somebody spilled some whiskey on my hand and things, and I'm still playing this guitar solo, and I'm looking over here at the drummer, and I feel the weirdest sensation, and some girl had come up to the front, was licking my knuckles, licking the whiskey right off of it. I was playing notes. Yeah, that was pretty
No
wild.
chicken wire on the stage.
Yeah. There you go.
Off limits where you know I'm at. I'm gonna sip some of this and smoke some of that. I got the run and the red to keep making the grain. You got the lift ready to keep running clean. Kiss my bedside.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Guthmiller, and I am very happy to be your guest hostess here on the Tulsa Tempo podcast. I hope you all enjoy the show. We have some fantastic local artists here with us. We're going to do some chatting and about what they're up to. We're also going to do a jam or two, right? I love the Tulsa music scene. I've been here since May of last year. I want to say that the musicians, all you guys, every musician that I've met here, the venues, the bartenders, fans, everybody, you guys are just fantastic. I've met so many wonderful people that have really helped me make the life transition that I needed to make to get me out here. I want all musicians, you guys, and everybody that I'm a fan of, that I've gone to see, all y'all, how much I appreciate, the healing and the happiness, that you give me by just being yourself and doing what you do. I really appreciate that, and you feed my soul a lot. So anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get into this. So, Paul Benjaman.
Hi.
Hi, how are
Yeah.
you? Thank you for being here. So tell me about this new album that you have coming out.
Okay. It's this first album, man, I've completed in a while. We recorded it. We did basic tracks over at the church studio. And then we also did a few tracks, overdubs over at Charlene Ripley's studio out in Glencoe. And then, quite a few things at my house. And it will be released June 7th. It's called My Bad Side Wants a Good Time.
Right. And you just recently dropped that title, the album title, as a single, correct?
That's right. Yeah. We released a single. We have a team of people that want to do some radio promotion behind it. So this is new territory for me, and they plan on releasing 3 singles from the album leading up to June. So
nice.
We had one last month. We'll have one released this month, the same week as Carney Fest, and then we'll have another one after that. And then,
That's great.
The release June
so
7th.
what label do you have this one on?
Horton Records, yeah, it's a great little nonprofit record.
Yeah, Brian Horton,
yeah,
local
that me
guy,
and Dustin
does
are
a lot
on,
for our
and
community.
it's been a really great, just organic, organically run. And Brian works tirelessly to help make connections for us musicians. And really, it started out as just this handshake deal, and really all Horton Records is a handshake deal. Not many people understand it. There's never a contract to sign or anything like that. He began just connecting the dots with getting us a plan in how to, get in the studio, get something finally produced, and get it out on the shelf or available and everything.
And he doesn't put you like on a timeline or anything like that. It's just
no, he lets
go
us.
for it,
Yeah, he lets us work on our own, and he's stuffing envelopes every day for free, and sending them out to all over the States and in Europe, and he's over the years grown into making partnerships with distribution deals in Europe and in the States, and
Nice. Well, so far from what I've heard from this new record, it's a burner. I like it.
Well, thank you.
And
Yeah.
I think that I think seeing you here, locally, on your regular gigs, or wherever else you play at, I think that's a real treat. And I think people probably need to understand that, because this record is that good. And I have a feeling that it's going to blow up, and we're going to be paying $100 to sit in crappy balcony seats pretty soon. I really, really believe that.
Thanks. Yeah. I really think the challenge for me for making a record, and I think my friends here can kind of sympathize with me, is when you get to go play a gig, you get to go play a song you wrote like a certain way, and it's just that song. And I'm always thinking much like Jimi Hendrix or a jazz player, like you play in another venue, you play it like a different way because you're suiting the venue and the time and the audience. So to come up with some version and just sign off on it and go, okay, this is the version that people are going to hear, you know, when they listen to it on record. That's always the challenge for me, is to put this final, you know, stamp on something like that and go, okay.
So when people hear your record, you know, and they hear the song, you know, as you recorded it, when they come and see you live, and you say you do a different variation of that, or your audience is just kind of not really tuned, like you're almost like background noise. What is it that you do to kind of get your crowd into you? Because I've seen you play live is, you know, just I think that's your happy place. You know, every show's different, and it blows my mind. You know, when you whip out your slide out of your pocket, you know, and it's just, and all the guests, people that you have play with you, you know, you have quite a nice group of people, you know, that really enjoy working with you. So when you get somebody who really doesn't know who you are, and like in Denver, when we on the Colorado thing in Winter Park, remember that last December? You know, they didn't know who you were. So, but when you got there, they were into it. So how did you do that?
I really don't know. You know, I compare myself to like the cafe over here on the corner. Consistency is not my thing. Mm-hmm. You're going to get something different every time you go there. Yeah. So, and it's also a byproduct of what the scene is like in Tulsa right now. Mm-hmm. You have musicians that you work with, and you have favorites and things like that. But you know, the rhythm sections, drummers and bass players here, they're so good that they're constantly getting picked up by bigger acts, you know, and other musicians and players around. And so everybody's got this revolving thing of session work that they're doing, tours with other bands and things like that. So every time I get a gig, literally everything, I'm always going down the Rolodex and just seeing who's in town and who's able to come around and who's able to fill it and get through it. Yeah. It's also affected me as a songwriter, in which I don't write songs with bridges. I write songs that, you know, you can pick up pretty easy. Two, 3 chords, and okay, yeah, you got it. All right. Yeah. Yeah. We got a gig here. We're going to make it through.
He's talking my language.
It really is. But, you know, on the positive side, Tulsa is full of so much talent that I can take those risks and I can expect it to be good. Maybe not what people expect, but that's my guarantee, is that everybody on stage is going to be trying their hardest to play the best gig, and it usually always amounts to something tasty. It always does, in some way or another, whether or not it's the album track or what everybody wants, or a song from the album that I can actually pull off that night with whoever I got sitting around, or, you know, who's prepared on what. It's just, Mm-hmm. And it's exciting for me because, you know, you get in the same old lineup, you get in fights with every other people in the band, and, you know, it gets these long-standing grudges and stuff like that. If you get to mix it up, it keeps things fresh. Everybody's happy to be there. Everybody is into the gig because it's every gig is like a first time for them every time. So
that's great. That's
fun.
Awesome.
It's fun to build each night as it goes. And it just, you know, my favorite Jimi Hendrix lives or John Coltrane records and things like that. Jimmy never played. You know, his quote was like, you know, if you want to hear it like it is on the record, well, then go buy the record.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you dip into the blues. I've heard you do Freddie King. I've heard you do, oh gosh, you know, just a countless number of songs that I heard. Dear Miss, or what was the song you did by Traffic the other night? Or but anyway, that was Can't Find My Way Home.
Oh, Can't Find My Way Home. Traffic. Yeah, from Blind Faith.
I couldn't believe that. I was like, whoa, you know.
We've all done that tune because Steve Pryor used to do that.
Yeah. Talk about your time with him.
Well, we've all had time with Steve Pryor, and he is a large part of why we're sitting in these chairs right now. Mm-hmm. You know, he was probably, you know, he's easily the most influential guitar player around here in Tulsa. He had a kind of skill set, and he was very much in every way I described, you know, changed the songs by the night and would just invent these masterpieces that you would only catch if you were there for that particular show. Mm-hmm. He could also do things that were coming out of the amplifier that you just never heard before, you know, and you never just seen any other guitar player do. Mm-hmm. So, you want to talk a little bit about that, Dustin? Because let's bring you in here.
Steve, he was probably the most influential for me around here for sure. Just he was he was everything, and he was really good about taking younger guys like us and getting us up on stage and playing with us. And he really, yeah, he was just really good to us.
What about you, Ronnie?
Oh man, Steve, I've known him before he even really, started with the blues thing like he did. When Stevie Ray Vaughan came here in the early '80s, and after that, Steve was like, I know what I need to do. And from then on, you couldn't touch him. I don't think anybody could touch him. He's just,
They met at the Boston Street Market.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
Right.
Boston Avenue Market, something like
Boston
that.
Avenue Market, that's right, which was the burn code that's burnt down now.
Yeah.
It's a building directly across from Mercury Lounge downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Legend has it they traded licks in the parking lot.
That's how it starts. That's how the magic begins, right there. Yeah, definitely. So, what do you with this new album coming out? I know you have your regular gigs. What are you doing for? Are you venturing out for your future shows? Are you going on the road this summer? Festivals? What are you up to?
Yeah, we're piecing things together right now, and everything looks pretty exciting. I'm going to see a Colorado tour in August.
Nice.
Something like that, and we're going to plan on a run through the South.
Okay.
And with kind of this radio promotion and promotional team, we're kind of seeing where things light up, and maybe it's maybe it's someplace we can drive to and hit if it's not too far to drive to.
Yeah, well, you have the new van, right? I mean, that you pack. They don't even.
Oh, the Honda.
You don't even pull a trailer.
Yeah. Let's
all
not put
in.
on airs here. We're still touring in the Honda Odyssey. So yeah.
Well, but still, and you don't have to pull a trailer, so they're very efficient, in the packing of the.
Sometimes
gear.
straight away you can get 29 miles a gallon. That's why we're returning that. Gas prices are high. We're gonna make some ends meet here.
just to avoid the deer. That's all
Right.
I've got to say. Just,
Yeah.
I hit a deer
We've
coming
done that,
back from
yeah.
Perkins 2 years ago, and
Oh my gosh.
you got to be careful coming
Yeah.
back from some
We
of
did
those
that.
gigs.
We had to make it to North Dakota and tied the front of the van on with guitar strings.
Yeah, all
We
right.
made it there and back.
How I got home, I have no idea.
That
I
was
have
damn.
no idea how I got home.
Well, I know that I've heard several people say, that they kind of consider you like the historian, of the Tulsa scene. I hear it often, So, who would you say your influences are, when you play, from this Tulsa, Steve Pryor, who else?
Yeah, man. And I think, my fellows over here, they hit the nose on the head. It was like, that was the coolest thing about this scene, is that the players were welcoming to us and let us sit in with them and everything like that, and shared a lot. So Don White, another great, he's untalked about legend, great guitar player, and he'd spent a lot of time hanging out with both J.J. Cale and and all a lot of the country stars that were going on in Nashville over the time. And he had a launch, so he could play the country and he could play the rock and roll, mix all the two together. When I was younger, at the time, Junior Brown was living in Tulsa, so I got some lessons from Junior Brown. Took about a year and a half from him. Jimmy Byfield, his records. He made some of the best records out of all the people we were talking about. And like, if you find like the Jimmy Byfield and the Brothers of the Night record, that's really, like, if somebody asked me really what the Tulsa Sound is, I feel like it is that Byfield and the Brothers of the Night. Yeah.
Stuff.
For those of you tuning in on the podcast, you can also find some great video Jimmy Byfield, because his tunes were covered by Clapton.
Yep.
So they got a tour through Europe, and you can see him playing on Rockplast. And Rockplast is this German show, right?
Yeah.
Stevie Ray Vaughan played it. All the rock stars played it. ZZ Top,
Everybody.
and almost any time anybody releases the leave, it's from Rockplast, and they're usually like out there just jamming, squeezing to this crowd and things like that. And if you tune into the Byfield, they're all set up really tight together, very close together on this big stage, and just grooving. And that's the most important thing to them is the groove, and not any of this flash or huge light show or anything like that. So it's
great.
extremely entertaining to watch, and that's exactly what the Tulsa Sound is all about.
I love it. This is Ronnie. He has 2 albums out on independent label, right? Or released just by you?
Independent label, just I just produced my own albums.
Tell me about those, please.
In 2015, I released the first one. I just got a little notification. It's been 9 years, so that where's
I would
those
be that
Facebook
notification.
notifications that remind you of how thin you once were. But yeah, I released that album in 2015, and then I released another one in 2018. I went out to Tulsa Sound. Hank Charles out there does a wonderful job of doing the whole deal, and
He does.
and I sent them off to the masters to CD Baby and had them go through their distribution and all that, and I just wanted to release some original music of my own before I leave this world and all that stuff. And it served a good purpose. I mean, it's worked as like a, almost like a audition. Somebody can listen to your music and hear, this is kind of on the basis of what I do. It's a little bit more of a variety of different styles. I've written songs over the years, stuff like that. Tributes to some friends that are no longer with us on the second album. And so I use those. Well, I have boxes of CDs, pretty much use them as beer coasters now. No, I'm just joking. But I've used it to my advantage. I've got lots of friends. When you do get a check for those penny streams that you get on Spotify, it gives a list of where everybody's listening to your music. And that's always kind of been interesting to me because there's people in Borneo and places that you just wouldn't think listen to your music, My very first physical hard CD that I ever sold in 2015 was sold to a guy in Oxford, England. I'd get a little email alert. So that's something that back in the day when we were making those Tascam 4-track, nobody was buying my little 4-track tapes back then. So the CD Baby and stuff like that allows artists who don't, have, who just want to put out a song or two here or there, singles. I think singles are more common now than, say, a whole album. On mine, I released just 9 tracks per album. But now I think if I do anything, I'll probably, release a single first.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have a full album of tracks right now. How many tracks do you do on this new album?
I ended up doing 12.
12 tracks.
But,
Right on.
I guess eight's all you really need.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy how technology and the music scene and everything has changed over the years from, when I was first, when we all were first doing this, and just, I think technology has actually surpassed me in many ways. And so this is my first podcast and, all this stuff is new, but I have to just chime in with these guys. He said it all for us, we're just doing the same thing. We're all influenced by a lot of the same people. I got a shout out to Jerry Lynn Williams up there in, Leonard. He wrote lots of great songs. And, when I was growing up, I lived here. Next door was Randy and Polly S. The other side of that was David Skinner. On my left side was Scott Ellison and Libby Jones. And so we just, it was a musical atmosphere. My father worked for Schaefer, for Little Wing, so I was exposed to that whole Tulsa concert scene from a real early age. And that's where I got a lot of my early influence from, I think, as all of us did. I really learned the blues and some of the stuff I did through, like the British invasion and stuff like that, and then I really learned who was the real writer, Willie Dixon. Who was this guy?
Yeah.
He wrote everything.
He did, yeah.
And so then once you get back into those roots like that and you discover your own roots and cut your own path, and make your own sound, that's just what you have to do.
I know you did a little time in Chicago, on the blues scene. That's where I'm from. Cut my teeth down there.
And I was
So
a
how did that
teenager.
go?
Yeah, we
It's
went
tough-
to
it's
Chicago, thought we were big shots.
Till you get there. They
Pulled
dust
into
ya.
Chicago, got down off Lakeshore Drive, and we got lost, and all the signs were in a different language, and we're like, oh man, we're in the big city now, you know. But you have to go down there and just experience what it was.
Yes.
I'm sure it's a lot different than in the mid '80s when I was there and stuff, but that wasn't really that much longer after the Blues Brothers movie was filmed there in the '70s, and you could go to a lot of those places still. And I don't know if a lot of those places still exist. I haven't been back there in a long time.
Well, tell us what do you do on a regular around here?
Well, like all of us, I do everything from the solo acoustic up to 5-6 piece band. So whatever is called for, that's what I do. So I have a couple of little residencies like we all do, those standing gigs. They help
Where are those
musicians. I've got it every Monday night with Cat Irons and David Teagarden at Ed's Hurricane Lounge, 7 to 11. It's a little blues jam over there. And then on Wednesday night with Cat and Teagarden, we're doing just a little happy hour, 6 to 9 over at the Full Circle Lounge. And then with my band, I do every first and second Sunday at the Red River Saloon, every third Sunday at the Four Aces Tavern, every second Thursday at Southport. But, it keeps you busy. And in between there, I fill in all my other gigs. So you always, like he's saying, you have to keep just a literal Rolodex of players that are available because everybody stays working and busy. So much like Paul, I have 3-4 bass players that I share the wealth with, drummers, all that stuff.
We could all be using the same band in the same week, probably.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Yeah. That's one thing that Brian Horton told me when I was asking about musicians here in Tulsa and who works with who. He said, everybody works with everybody. It's like, okay. And I've definitely found that to be true. I can, like Jake Lynn, I know he has I think he plays with 7 people on Sundays sometimes. It's like, really, dude? But yeah, he's always.
That guy is a
always
monster, though.
Yeah,
He's something else.
Yeah,
I'll
he's
tell you that right now.
very good.
Keeps them all extremely versatile.
Absolutely,
They can all, whatever band they're in, they can pull it off.
Yeah, and Chris comes, he'll come, jam with Pyle, or over at the Mercury with Pilgrim. I saw him a couple weeks ago. He was real nice and loose, playing. So
well,
it's
that's
really
what Tulsa's
cool to see.
become. Really, you can go anywhere on a given night and catch somebody really good. At a couple different places.
Yes.
I mean, tomorrow Sunday you can start off
At
a
noon.
number of places around town. End up here with Paul.
Yeah.
The Sunday night thing. All
We
you
do
can
it.
do that.
A Sunday night thing here at the Colony will be 13 years.
Yes.
13
This year.
years.
This year will pass the 13-year mark.
That's awesome.
And it kind of started out with this concept of every week we have a different special guest, and that's usually a musician from around town, sometimes a touring musician. Ian Morris played it. Man, a
Hank
lot
Davis
of people
was
have
last week.
played it. Yeah.
From the Turnpike Troubadours, he was here.
Oh, Hank Early, yeah, from
Early,
Turnpike
sorry.
Troubadours, yeah. Musicians of all styles and from all different cities have come down. And Jackie Vinson from Austin, she's done one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marcus King came and played one. So it's just very informal, just like we say. All the tunes are laid out and they're pretty easy. And you just sit in, no rehearsal. I just kind of let you know the quick changes before we kick off the tune, and away we go.
And it's good stuff, you guys.
it
You
keeps-
really, really don't want to miss.
Yeah, it keeps people coming back because if it was the same band, it would just kind of just wear out after a while. People go, oh, yeah, I saw that show. But now everybody wants to see how each player handles the tune and what they
Yes.
decide to add. And as a band, we try to play their way, to kind of augment their style or play things. Yeah. So the tunes lean their direction.
Yeah.
And it becomes a team effort as a lot of things are.
It's a beautiful thing to see also. If you haven't been to the Sunday night thing here at the Colony, try to make it because you don't want to miss it. Again, this guy, he's gonna blow up with this new album, I have a feeling. So see him now for, him working the tip bucket, or pay over $100 for some crappy balcony seat, your call, man. So it's because it's really fun, So, and I'm
Thank
so glad you do that.
Yeah, good to be here.
This is Dustin Pittsley from the Dustin Pittsley Band, and I have to put my readers on because you have a lot of albums out. All right, so you have released 4 so far, going back, well, 2 that were released when you were a teenager, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I don't talk about those a whole lot. I was, I think, 16 when I released the first one, around 18 or 19, the second one. When one of them was just me. I did all the instruments and just, it was a little bit different style of music. But the very first one, it was just a group of guys from my hometown that I don't know how we did it. We just made a CD and had some songs.
So how did that, when you did your first album, you did it in 2009, and then you went 11, and then you did 2 in 2016. So how did those all come to be?
Well, I was playing guitar for a guy named Stoney LaRue, and his band that was with him at the time, we ended up hitting it off, so they kind of came back up to Tulsa and joined me, and then we recorded in my bass player's living room, and for about 6 months, and then released that. We wrote all the songs. I'd had the songs already mostly written, finished them off there, and just kind of, yeah.
Do you incorporate, in your live sets, do you incorporate off all of your released albums, songs, or there's a
Probably not as many as I should live. I like to. There's a few specific ones that we do every night, but there's a lot of the songs we haven't played live. I'm starting to pull out more of those than I used to. Some of my older stuff that I've never played live, and
cool.
try to bring that stuff back around because I like the songs. We've just never really done them out live.
Speaking of live, you're doing a live recording at Maggie's Music Box.
Yeah.
So that is in the works, correct?
Yeah, we're recording I'll be doing every other Wednesday till May.
Okay.
And we're just taking the best of all that and seeing what we get.
Polish it up, and then you're going to put that out. Great.
Yeah.
And then I also know that you're opening for Indigenous in June
Yeah.
over at the Shrine. That's kind of a cool gig.
Yeah. I've done several shows with them.
That's nice. Let me see, what else? So I want to know, it's kind of the same thing that I asked Paul. If you are thinking that, if you're seeing in your audience, especially at Maggie's, because Maggie's is a little bit smaller venue, if you see that you're just kind of being background noise a little bit, and they're not, what do you do, to get your crowd pumped up? Do you...
I just try to read the crowd
doesn't-
and see what they're into. So like you said, I don't really know what I do. I just
Generally, turning the guitar up really loud.
That's what I was gonna say.
That separates who's on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
right.
louder.
Steve told us that.
Yeah. Showed
He
us
didn't
that.
tell us that, though.
Advice, yeah.
He
Really
just
good
did
advice.
Exactly. We've seen it plenty of times. But yeah, or take a break. I don't know.
Take a break, yeah. Or buy shots, for the crowd.
Get them.
Ring the bell,
liquored up.
right?
There's several ways you can do it, but
I don't know. I like to remind the crowd at that moment that they haven't bought me a shot in a little bit.
There you
know
go.
what I'm saying? And kind of get a little
Next thing you
crowd
know.
interaction going.
if it's an acoustic show, you can. I've noticed if you start get really quiet, super quiet, people will kind of stop and pay attention because they feel like they're being loud. And so acoustic shows, I don't know, it's kind of a little trick that works most of the time.
So tell me about some times that you've been on the road. We were talking about Paul Thorne, and being on the road with him, opening up for him. Who else have you opened up for?
Oh gosh, I don't even know where to start. Buddy Guy, bunch with Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Indigenous, like you mentioned. Larry Schaefer put me on tour with them when I was 17 years old.
Wow.
I mean, it wasn't a huge tour, but Dierks Bentley, I did Jaeger tour with him, and there's more.
A lot, yeah.
I can't think of yeah.
Speaking of being on the road, opening up for people, traveling, stuff like that, do you guys enjoy that more, or would you rather be home playing for your home crowd? Like, what would your preference be? Because being on the road can get really long and tiring, and you miss kind of being in your own bed.
Yeah.
So, how do y'all feel about that?
I love it,
Yeah.
but I thought I liked it more than I did. Once COVID hit and I wasn't out there all the time, I realized I don't like traveling as much as I thought I did. I really like being home now, and it's changed a little bit. Being on the road is a lot harder financially. It's just than it used to be. It's just a lot more to deal with not any more money.
Yeah.
So-
What about you, Ronnie? Same?
Yeah, I mean, I like to stick closer to home. It depends on, it has to depend on what it is, what the what can I put in my rider and get away with?
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Because I need some accommodations.
What about you,
Right
Paul?
now, I'm not sleeping on a rollaway bed.
That's the thing is what kind of touring you're getting.
Yeah,
Exactly,
exactly.
yeah.
It really
no,
makes
hey,
all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
we
you
all
know.
three in a van going,
Yeah.
you know, for 4 weeks.
You got to go out and play different places, and that's what makes you appreciate what Tulsa has to
What
offer.
you have, yeah.
Yeah.
That's offer. You get to go out. Yeah, you got to have kind of the balance. All that aside, if I could have anybody's life, I would have maybe Bob Dylan's life because he stays on the road all the time.
all the time.
It was yeah. I was over at Guitar House Tulsa where I give lessons, and musicians usually stop in there because it's one of the largest vintage stores in America now. And a guitar player from Bob Dylan's band stopped by when Bob Dylan was in town playing here, and he was just like, "Oh man, yeah, we did 4 months straight, and then I think we had maybe 1 weekend off, and then we did another 3 straight, and I was like, yeah, sign me up, baby. That's it. Yeah, every day, different experience, different new people. We're just changing the filters every day.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, if I was traveling the way they were traveling, I would
Yeah, them
feel a
boys
little
get
differently.
taken care of. Like
Yeah.
that.
Done sleeping in a house with a bunch of other hippies.
Yeah, exactly. They're on another level.
Yeah,
right.
find a
Yeah,
couch.
Yeah. If you could do that, if you had hotel rooms and,
Yeah.
and a nice bus every day.
I was a lot more tolerant when I was younger of a lot of things. And
Yeah, there's only so much we can get away with in Honda Odysseys and Ford vans and Chevy vans.
Yeah.
There's only so much sustainability in that lifestyle.
So tell me, on the road, what is actually start here. What is, at a gig, Paul, what is one of the wildest things that has happened to you? Good, bad,
Ooh, I'd have to
in
think
recent
about
memory?
that. It just gets, I don't know. Recent memory. I don't know. I think there was this one time I used to play. This is way back, before this. Yeah, this is back, back in the clubbing days and things like that. I think I was playing this gig at where is it? It's in Arkansas. In Arkansas, they have special laws to where sometimes clubs can run 24 hours if they want to, or at least stay open till like 8 a.m. I'm not exactly clear on that. But yeah, so you can be like this after hours band and not even start your set till like 2 a.m. And I remember like doing that, and then people passing around shots or something like that, and somebody spilled some whiskey on my hand and things, and I'm still playing this guitar solo, and I'm looking over here at the drummer, and I feel the weirdest sensation, and some girl had come up to the front, was licking my knuckles, licking the whiskey right off of it. I was playing notes.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that was pretty
No chicken
wild
wire
for
on
me.
the stage.
Yeah, there we
I
go.
like that. That's a good
Wow.
It was that kind of gig, strange thumping noises coming from the restroom. Yeah, that kind
Oh,
of.
yeah.
yeah,
How about you, Ronnie?
Oh, I have lots of stories.
I imagine that.
Yeah, lots of stories. Good stories, bad stories, happy stories, sad stories, I think we all have to deal with the occasional loose breast that gets loose, and got good stories on that. You just have to deal with certain things like that. Although last time, I don't like the stage invader deal that I have to deal with sometimes. We had a guy, we've hosted some open mic nights, and open mic night, you wait your turn and stuff like that. But we've had some people get a little aggressive. And so I would say that is probably not the best situation that happens around town when you get somebody that does that. I just got one of those little one-spot monitors, and you hook to your microphone stand and everything. And this day bartender, she's off shift. I'm not going to say the place where we're at. She wants to sing happy birthday, wants me to sing happy birthday, and I sing happy birthday. I take my break and I go out, and she was just determined. And she went up on stage and she grabbed that microphone and broke the attachment to your little, one spot
clip?
monitor. And so you just get all kinds of stuff, I when you're a little too close to the audience and they're dancing and stuff, and you get that microphone in the teeth, that's always a pleasant one. There's just, a number of things like that. Hitting a deer coming back from,
done that a few times.
Yeah.
and then everybody asks you, well, did you bring back the deer? get some backstrap.
Yeah.
Oh, my deer got ejected into a field out there.
How about you?
My luck, I'd go over there and it'd still be alive. You know what I'm saying?
My most memorable probably going on the road with some of the Horton Records crew, like Nashville or New Orleans. Actually, the night Paul got that tattoo right there was probably one of the most
Show your tattoo. Let's see
memorable
it.
nights.
Oh yeah, that's this one over here. The
That,
music with friends. tattoo.
Nice.
That was a
Yeah,
very
there
memorable
we go.
trip right there. And
Yeah,
some of it I
that's
can't
my
talk
first
about, but
tattoo.
it was awesome. It was very
Yeah.
memorable.
Yeah, we're down on the square in New Orleans. That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
I mean, it was a little
a
crazy.
day. I don't remember this getting the second half of this tattoo. I really don't.
Yeah. You shouldn't have. Yeah.
I remember them starting it, and then after that, I was just working. I was like, "Oh yeah, there it is."
None of us really remember
Yeah.
the second half of it either. So.
That's another one of those towns that don't sleep very much.
That's right.
That was a good trip, and the Nashville
Oh,
trip,
it's
and
so
just
fun.
going with all of our friends. It wasn't just my band. I loved it going with.
We met Daniel
Everybody.
Lenoir out there, the
Yeah.
producer, famous producer Daniel Lenoir out there while we were on that.
It's just going with all your buds. It's awesome. It's
It
awesome.
was the best time.
Those are the best kind of gigs, definitely. How you do? You know, I might have to text
Yeah,
you.
man,
a
it's a
few
Tulsa
times.
thing. It's important to be vague. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Nobody
True.
knows.
No expectations. Just
see how it shakes
Yeah,
out.
and it's a good way to end your day. You know, you start at noon at the Mercury, right? You know, for the bluegrass jam, get a little soup, I don't know who's playing with Jacob Tovar. Sometimes does the afternoons. He's great, and then come over to Pyle's and here and finish it up and start your week off right. That's what I think.
I'm doing 3 to 6 tomorrow at the Red River Saloon over at Admiral in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh. So
I
come
saw
on
you
over
there.
there, do a little set, and we usually have some food, stuff like that over there. It's a good time,
Nice.
you know. And then make your way down to the colony, see Paul.
Yeah, we really appreciate the colony hosting us, and we hope that you guys come here. The vibe is it's a really good vibe here. You know, there's a lot of love, a lot of respect. I see that. I've always seen it, but even more so, you know, with the new ownership. And it's brighter now. It kind of seems. You know, they said they cleaned off all the grime, but I don't know, man. That to me is like soul. You know, you got to keep a little bit of the soul in here. Okay, so this is a game. It's just a little silly game called Drunk, Stoned, or Stupid. So Dustin, you can pick the first card, and then we'll just kind of go around, okay? And then, okay, so
What's it called?
Drunk, Stoned, or Stupid.
Drunk, stoned, or stupid?
I think we played that game too many times, really, here at the colony.
we're very familiar with.
I know that game well.
Yeah, yeah.
Did I read it?
Yeah, you go ahead, read it.
Okay. Touches everyone excessively for no reason. Damn. I know who that is, but they're not here.
That's right.
It is another musician.
Who? You got to tell.
I bet Paul could guess it easily.
No, you don't have to tell. That's right. You can,
No.
you can be vague.
You could be
It'd be
vague.
big.
All right. So Ronnie, let me pick one. You know. Okay. So I'll find out, y'all, and I'll let you know.
All right. Let's see here. Drunk, stoned, or stupid. I'm going from the middle of the deck.
All right.
I'll go ahead and pass that to you. Let's see here. Argues over beer pong rules. Well, that'd be a hard one because
I don't think we do that.
I-
I don't think we do that.
I've actually never played beer pong. And so,
As
I may have.
musicians, we always argue over free beer rules.
yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to do that with the bars.
A
all the
lot of the
time.
arguing is in the band. Is in my band, we have this thing that, you know, you have become. I'll just give you an example. I would look at you and say, you are now in the band and you are officially a Stern brother. That means it's Dustin Stern. Dustin's turn to buy a shot. So we all fight over who has to buy a shot. Paul Stern, Ronnie Stern, Ronnie's turn.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Discard, Paul. So you draw a card, and then what's the rule? You have
Just
to-
read it.
I
And
think
we'll
you have
guess
to
who it is.
reveal
Oh,
something
I
about
guess it is.
yourself.
Okay. Is obsessed with how they look in photos. Clearly me.
Damn.
Clearly me. There we go.
The beard is, you know.
Yeah. Obviously, I worked really hard getting the right conditioner and, mix. And,
Oh, that's funny. Well, I think you called your beard something one time. I can't remember it. Somebody was talking to you about your beard, and
I don't
you
know.
said it's
It's its own ecosystem.
It's like a wonder of the world.
something to that. Yeah, it was something was in there like that. It was hilarious.
I don't know.
The ninth wonder of the world.
I get hungry, and there might be a snack in there. We know.
And Ronnie's got one going on too.
Yeah, I took No Shave November a little seriously a couple years ago. I'd never been able to really grow a beard because of my blood, and but my dad could always grow this spectacular beard. I mean, he'd give Paul a run for his money. You know what I'm saying? And so I just decided that this would be like an homage to my father, whatever. But how it just went straight white, I don't understand that. I'll tell you that. It's just a blessing.
Well, I've seen you with and without facial hair, and when I first saw you and met you, I had to double take because you look like a young Greg Allman, and I was just, I'm like, there is not a ghost in this place. Oh my gosh. So what's your take on the facial hair thing? Keep it nice.
I do a lot of woodwork and sometimes torches and stuff. They kind of get in the way or like trim it for you, so you just kind of.
And tell me about your woodworking. That's a nice little side hustle for you, right?
Killer.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a little bit. Got some some galleries around here, and just started a new Facebook page to try to get it out there a little bit more. Pittsley Creations, and We good?
Early gig. That's true. You put that on camera now. I know, right? You got an early gig. Safe travel.
All right, you ready?
There's a shadow of a stranger that's following me, and he's always been there. We just can't agree, and all my intentions were never known. And out of the ditches to find a long dusty road. And time makes me weary, and time makes me old, and running from nothing but nowhere to go. It's time to get rolling and find another road. I have no more patience to carry this load, and my hesitation has cost me so much. We all want something for nothing till we run out of luck. And time makes me weary, and time makes me whole. Been running from nothing, but nowhere to go. Visions of clarity, they come and they pass like a desert river that's dried up too fast. And I know you can't receive till you ask. Time makes me weary, and time makes me whole. Been running from nothing, but nowhere to go.
Thank you. Is that it?
That made me teary-eyed.
Oh, yeah.